What's up guys, my name's Ali and welcome to a full in-depth analysis of the brand new and official Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 trailer. If you'd like to go to the description of the video, click on the Facebook app for Machinima and bump the video. It'd really help me out. If you could like it and favourite it, it'd also really help me out and I really appreciate it. If you're brand new to my channel, feel free to subscribe for the latest Modern Warfare 3 information. Let's jump straight into this trailer. So the trailer starts off in America, and taking a look at a still image of the trailer here, we have a destroyer sinking in the bottom left hand corner. We have a Pavlo, which looks like it may come back again as a kill streak from Modern Warfare 2 near the top right hand corner there. In the top left corner we see an F-22 fighter jet flying out of the city, remembering that most of the stuff we see in the trailer here is relating to the single player, not the multiplayer. However, there may be some overlap where we see some kill streaks, for example, new guns that will be incorporated into the multiplayer side of things, but remember that this trailer is based around the single player. As the trailer progresses, we see the Mi-24 Hind outside the New York Exchange here. The Russians are obviously deep inside the American territory here, so this is really World War III-esque, close quarters, you know, all of these countries are battling it out at the moment and it's pretty intense. Leading into the more exciting part of the trailer here, we actually see the M4 carbine, but it's not just an M4 carbine. If we take a closer look at it, there's actually multiple scopes on the top of the gun. There is a holographic scope and another scope behind it. So this leads into the idea of dual scopes and multiple scopes being allowed in the multiplayer side of things, which is fantastic. We've never seen this in a Call of Duty game before, but also you may not have picked up on the switch on the side of a gun here. This actually allows the user to switch between single, 3-burst and fully automatic, so maybe in the multiplayer we'll also see the option to customize that within your gun. As we progress here, we see submarines shooting out missiles with several sunken ships in the background. It looks pretty epic. As we move on to England, we see the use of the MP5, standard in all Call of Duty games pretty much now. We also see a train being smacked into walls, but we come on to an interesting part here in France, where the character actually picks up some sort of grenade-like item, as we see an RPG fly through the sky here. But it's not a grenade, but it looks it's sort of glowing, so maybe it's some sort of Semtex or some sort of fire bomb equivalent, which we may see as some sort of grenade switch out in the multiplayer side of things, which could be interesting, adding alongside to the Semtex and grenade that was now standard. Continuing, we see one of these vans actually being chased by a Pavlo, but jumping ahead, we take a look at the guy in the background here in the back left. It looks like he's holding some sort of gun. It looks like a FAMAS, to be honest, or a G36C. I've always been a big fan of a FAMAS in Black Ops and Modern Warfare 2, so seeing that's return is pretty good, but to be honest, I'd like to see more variations in the gun. I'd rather see more new guns than old guns, which we've already seen. So as we leave France, we jump into Germany. We see the player grappling over the side of the building. We also have a tank here in this freeze frame and an Warthog. The A-10 Warthog is actually an anti-tank aircraft, so it looks like that if the tank was actually included in the multiplayer, that the A-10 Warthog would actually be a kill streak to counter this option of a tank. The tank was never popular in World War. I personally don't think that vehicles really need to be placed into Call of Duty at all. It would sort of take away from the multiplayer experience, but we'll see what happens. It's certainly going to be in single player. We then see more tanks exploding and a glimpse of a spy plane in the air there, an obvious kill streak for multiplayer, but we jump into here is actually really important. I didn't notice this at first. It actually looks like tactical insertions. They were a huge part of boosting in Modern Warfare 2. They slightly ruined the game, made all the challenges and titles and emblems you got slightly less pleasing when you saw them in multiplayer and you knew that the player had obviously hacked or boosted for them, but they could be flares and not necessarily tactical insertions, so we'll have to see what Infinity Ward do there and what part that plays in Call of Duty. We then get a glimpse of the AK-47, an obvious gun to be placed in a first-person shooter. It's standard in most first-person shooting games, obviously seen in Counter-Strike, Call of Duty, you name them, it's probably going to be in there, but more interestingly here, as we see a player take cover, a system that is rumoured to be in Call of Duty, covering behind walls, etc., which is brand new to Call of Duty. It looks like he may be using a UMP there. It's a popular choice in Modern Warfare 2, and seeing it back in Modern Warfare 3 would be really interesting. Continuing with the trailer, we see some underwater scenes here. We actually had some in Modern Warfare 2, so it's interesting that they're bringing it back for Modern Warfare 3. We saw the AC-130 there, and this looks like some sort of chopper gunner, which is kill streaks in both Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops, so it looks like they're going to be bringing back those big kill streaks again. Whether or not they'll be stackable in multiplayer is still controversial. People aren't sure if that's a good idea or not, but it'd be interesting to see what they actually do in the final game when it's released in November. So this brings us to the end of the Modern Warfare 3 trailer analysis. Hopefully it's been helpful. We see the ability to use a boat here and also perhaps a car in a single player, which is interesting. The obvious World War 3, which switches to the Modern Warfare 3 logo, which I actually mentioned in one of my previous videos, so that was a nice guess there. But I hope you enjoyed. Please again like, favourite and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching and I'll see you on my next video.